Bird of Prey 5. El Karuga.
Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird of Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird of Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Trek Talk. Yeah, Trek Talk Thursday. I was going to review Lower Decks Season 1, Episode 3, but today, of all days, ended up with a doctor's appointment at a very inconvenient time, right in the middle of the time I'd be doing a review. Not enough time to get it finished beforehand, and not enough time to do it afterwards, because between the doctor's appointment, which finished not all that long ago, and physical therapy, which begins in less than 2 hours, it just conspired against me today. Today I had the energy to do it, but just not the time to do it. So rather than skip another week of talking about Star Trek, I figured we'd do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Not exactly to the detail of a Lower Decks review where I'm going through it scene by scene, but certainly if anybody wants to hear about this latest episode of Lower Decks. And then there's also the this is our second in a week, very short Trek to be released, holiday party, which I also wanted to talk about. So there are currently 2 Star Trek series live. I'll grant you, Lower Decks is an animated 30-minute episode, so it's not all that much. And then somebody was like, hold my beer, I can make something even less canonical. And they just decided to do a 4-minute, 3 to 4 minute episode, animated episode. Now people are claiming that very short tracks has been done as an anniversary and homage to the animated series. But I'm really question that, since it's the animated series only in the most basic of forms. All it does is look like the animated series, and even then, not as much as it could. And I suspect it does so. They think they're making fun of the animated series by recreating its animation style, and that's all they can recreate, because they can't recreate the stories behind the animated series. Because if they could, they could be doing good Trek, but they can't. They can't do good Trek, even when they try. So I'll tell you, the very first of the very short tracks, um, terrible, awful. I had no idea what I was looking at. Like, why? I mean, you had Spock. You had a very passable Spock, but you had a captain who, at first I was like, who is this they are playing Captain Kirk? Because I mean, it was a white guy. Like, oh, I assumed that was just a very shitty Captain Kirk. But after, we only have what, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So after 90 seconds, I realized that this guy isn't even trying to be Captain Kirk. But being it was the animated series Enterprise, and you had Spock, what you expected to be Kirk. But if you're not going to have Kirk be captain, you need even if it's a 5-second throwaway line, like Captain Kirk isn't here this week because he's, on a training mission or a officer exchange or whatever. Like we've got Captain Dum Dum on board today because of a Starfleet captain's exchange program today. So something to make us realize in the 3 or 4 minutes we have with the characters to understand that it's not supposed to be Captain Kirk, which I found insulting. At first, I found it quite insulting. Later on, listen, I understand. I can deal with the humor in Lower Decks because I trust Mike McMahon is a serious Star Trek fan, and he wants to throw humor in. I get it. I don't know that I would want to be doing it, but I understand that if I was in his position and Paramount drove a dump truck full of money up to me and just wanted me to say, sign here on the dotted line, and you can make your Star Trek the way you want. We just have to add that, it's got a co-star, a female person of color who is right, 95% of the time for no particular reason. But other than that, you can do anything you want. I would be hard pressed to say no myself. So I give him that. And Lower Decks, I understand a lot of people can't get over the fact that it's a cartoon, or they can't get over the fact that, it's not up to Starfleet ideals, but I can get over it. I'm okay with it. I don't love it, but I understand. but this very short tracks, I have a lot harder time understanding why they exist. I mean, 5 minutes, 5 minute, 4 minute episodes. They're not even on Paramount Plus, so they're not holding people over. Like I thought, okay, if you're gonna put them up after Lower Decks in the 6 months it's going to be before Discovery or whatever comes back, you need people to keep paying for your Paramount Plus. Fine, but these episodes they're just putting on YouTube. So what the hell's the point? I don't know. I don't know. I do know that this latest one, Holiday Party, at least it made me chuckle. It made me chuckle. The first one, whose title I Skin a Cat. Skin a Cat. I got one little chuckle at the end, but it was after a whole lot of head scratching. Holiday Party, I understood it a bit better. Holiday Party, honestly, the most confusing part about Holiday Party was what Enterprise was it on? And I realized, oh, that's supposed to be the Strange New World Enterprise, as opposed to the animated series / original series Enterprise. So, yeah. But it was something. It was something. John Araki with a 4-month membership says, "Hail Kuroga. Hail Kuroga, John Araki." And let's see. Let's go to the chat. And the link is up if anybody would like to join the panel. Bradley Briggs says, "Zup, y'all." Sup, Bradley. Gorilla's Random Thought says, "Qapla, Qapla, Gorilla." Not Ryan Johnson says, "Hello in Qapla. Hail Kuroga. Hail Kuroga." Hakeem says, "Hello, Bird and all, Qapla." Hakeem. I put the link to join the panel. Susan is out there. Susan says, "Hello, Bird." Hello, Susan. And she also says hello to Gorilla. The Random Menace is greetings from the future. Lower Decks is canon. Whatever. Yvette says, "Good evening, Bird and everyone. I just finished work. What a lovely surprise." Qapla to the lovely Yvette. And she says, "Hey, Joseph, how is Erica and the baby?" Cinnabon Bunny says, "A new golden age of Trek has arrived." And then he calls me a hater. This is a golden age. It's true. Last Son of K says, "Hello, Bird. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you." Last Son of K. Yvette says, "Hey" to Cinnabon, who says, "Hola, back." Last Son of K says, "For the record, audio is great today. I did nothing on my end. The audio is good over my YouTube app. Go figure." Thank you, Last Son of K, who also says hello to everyone. And Yvette says, "Hey" to the Last Son, who says hello and good evening to the fair lady Yvette. John Araki says, "Aloha world." Aloha world. Jeff B says, "Qapla, Bird over 5. Hail to all. Qapla, Jeff B. Cinnabon wants a moopsie. Yeah, they had a very similar character on Star Trek Prodigy. Then they erased Prodigy from canon, pretty much. They erased it from Paramount Plus. They erased it from all the Trek Day activities. Like nobody would ever remember it. But then they literally replaced, and the character's name was Murph, with a character called Moopsie. Jeff B says, way to go, John. And Last Son of K says, unfortunately, Trek is dead. Thank Abrams and Kurtzman. So I'm only here to hang with Bird and all you wonderful people. Well, thank you, Last Son of K. I don't know that Trek is dead. It's certainly on life support. Oh, it's funny you mentioned dead for this most recent episode of Lower Decks. Last week, Lower Decks gave us 2 episodes. Season 4, episode 1, Tuvix, which was the Voyager episode. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, they decided to release Lower Decks Season 4, Episode 1 free on YouTube. Now it's on the Paramount Plus YouTube channel. So it's unlikely, if you're outside of the United States, that you'll be able to view it. But for those who are in the United States or use a VPN, hint, to pretend you're in the United States, you can go ahead and watch season 4, episode 1 of Lower Decks, Tuvix, for free right now on YouTube. I was testing it out just before I started, and it works. So you want to see Moopsy, you want to see the adventures of the Star Trek Voyager, the Starship Voyager, the Cerritos going to there to see what the hell's going on. Captain Freeman finding out that almost all of Voyager's mission logs are censored, and of course we find out about Tuvix, and yeah, it's all completely free on YouTube at the moment. So that was the first episode they released last week, which I really enjoyed, and I give it a solid 8, maybe an 8.5 out of 10. Then they did a second episode last week, which something about though I have no bones, I must flee, and that one was a very weird title and a very poor episode, in my opinion. I went from an 8.5 to, I would say, at best a 5, probably a 4 or a 4.5. And then today, I wasn't sure in which direction we would be going. Would it be better than last week's? Would it be worse? Would it be better than the first episode? And basically, I think we got something right in the middle. This last episode, it's hard to pronounce. I put it right solidly between episode 1, which I thought was one of the few great episodes of Lower Deck, and it's not offensively bad, so I'm going to give it a decent score, but it also was just kind of boring, not a whole lot. What I did like, they did bring back the koala. For those of you who don't know, there's in the Lower Decks afterlife, it's established that there's a koala, has something to do with the secret of the universe. And yeah, so that was cool that they brought the koala back, but I was a bit disappointed that they forgot that Boimler was already promoted. Boimler has been a lieutenant before. At the end of season 1, Boimler gets promoted from ensign to lieutenant, and then he goes to the Titan, and on the Titan he's in a transporter accident, and then he volunteers to go back to the Cerritos, and his transporter double, instead of saying no, I'll go back, his transporter double's like, oh great, that's cool, and I'll stay here. And he's kind of like, so the Boimler we've watched, the Boimler we're following, is a transporter duplicate who chose to have his title go away. So he was a lieutenant. So for anybody to forget that he was a lieutenant, that's pretty disingenuous, and like, you can't forget that. At least I can't. That's where I have to draw the line. Welcome to the panel, Job. Qapla.
Bert.
Hello, Joe.
How's it going, Bert? How you doing? I'm good. I'm good. Just enslaving some more AI. Saw your stream, talking Trek. Saw the new episode. I didn't even see the new episode. I totally forgot that was this morning.
There was a Lower Decks episode this morning, and there was a holiday of the very short tracks holiday episode yesterday.
Where the hell? Okay, so I keep hearing short treks. I think I don't remember who I heard it from, but
so
what are these short treks? Are they
okay?
Are they?
They are 5 minutes. No, they're made by Star Trek. They're not on Paramount Plus. You have to go to StarTrek.com YouTube channel to see them. So if you Google YouTube for Star Trek very short tracks or whatever, there's 2 of them now. They're both on their YouTube channel. The first one is called what was the first one called? Something. Skin a Cat, I believe it was called. Skin a Cat. And the second one is called Holiday Party. The first one was the second one was worth a laugh, a snicker. So.
Now, are we talking? Are these the same like what they did during Discovery?
No. Discovery was called Short Tracks. Those were like 5 to 7 minute long. Some were like 10. These are called very short tracks because they're like 3 minutes long. 3-4 minutes tops. And they're all cartoon. Okay. They're all in the they're all like the animated series animation style.
Oh, TAS? Damn.
Yes, because they're technically a 50-year anniversary of the animated series. So that's what doesn't make sense. They're calling this a anniversary of the animated series. So while they use the animated series visual quality, the actual episodes are much more like Lower Decks humor. And by that, I mean adult humor, not for kids humor, which is the opposite of what the animated series was about.
Sounds like what TAS should have been. Okay, good. All right.
No, TAS should have been exactly what it was.
No, I definitely would have changed TAS, but it's my opinion. I mean, when I was a
Uh,
kid, TAS was like not even worth watching.
well,
I'd rank it up there. I'd rank it up there with the like when you used to go to school and the teacher put on some kind of, you know, VHS or some kind of thing made in the
after school
70s.
special.
Yeah, one of those, usually starts with like almost porn music in the beginning. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You're saying Lower Decks, the animated series should have started with porn music?
Well, now that you mention it, that would have been a great improvement. But no, 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 no. I'm talking about those VHS, like, they're not movies, but they were like, they're not narrations. They were like those little videos, like What About Math and National Geographic, whatever. And they started with that music that you usually hear when you watch your old parents' porn videos. It has that 80s music to it. Anyway, I might be going on a tangent on that.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going.
I just didn't like TAS. I'm sorry, and that's fine. If people liked it, that's good. It's gold, obviously.
John
If we would
Aragi
have
says
had lower
LDG should
decks.
change his name to Pro DG in protest of the
Pro
cancellation.
DG. I like that. Star Wars Prodigy needs to die. That's fine. If we would have gotten lower decks instead of TAS, that could you imagine? Like that just would have been a million times better.
I don't understand. What, in 1970?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If in 1970s you had gotten Lower Decks instead of the animated series,
I would have watched.
yeah, probably not because it wouldn't have been allowed on television.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry was on. That's it's basically manslaughter.
John Araki says Trek is not dead. It's transitioning to something that will surely break its father's heart. Indeed. It's already, I think it's already way past that. The random menace is Yvette. Erica is recovering well, almost 100%. Olivia is cute, but refuses to do chores around the house. Well, you
What
better
happened?
stay on her. So.
Something happened?
On that baby.
Lalo probably wants to know who's picking on the baby. Bradley Briggs says, track dang sure ain't what it used to be. That's for sure. And I'm sure we all miss the days when it was at its best. Cinnabon Bunny says Murph was nowhere near as awesome as the great Moopsie. Did Murph drink bones? I don't think so. And Cinnabon Bunny says the opening credits makes a mockery of the mighty whale probe. And he says you can reverse the audio on the koala to hear what he says. Last on the case is it's funny because of the completionist in him. I saw the JJ Trek movies in the theater, but Star Wars The Last Jedi broke me, and I refuse to ever watch The Rise of Skywalker. Richie Poole says Trek talk. Are we talking Trek? We are. Last on the case is all the crap I heard about Discovery made me decide to walk away from anything new Trek. If others like it, fine. I'm just done. Bradley Briggs says, isn't everyone who's ever used a transporter a duplicate? No one's proved them dang things aren't just duplication murder machines yet. Richie Poole just watched Tuvix free on YouTube. Not bad. Yeah, I thought it was the best Lower Decks episode in quite some time. Richie Poole confirms the animated series was not a kid's show, and also says the animated series is awesome and totally canon. And Last Son of K agrees with Richie Poole. Certainly agree.
The ending to the first episode was cringe as hell.
The first episode of what?
TAS.
The ending of the first episode of the animated series
Yes.
was what happened?
It was like we left that being on the planet screaming bloody murder.
Which being?
He left a
What?
life form on the planet that was crying for help.
Who?
The
Captain
alien on the
Kirk?
planet. It was whatever the first episode. They encountered a life form on the planet, kind of like Skin of Evil. It kind of reminded me of Skin of Evil. And then after he gets everybody away and into safety, he leaves the freaking life form on the planet while it's crying for help. And I mean screaming, if I remember correctly.
47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Richie Poole says, in what universe is LDG living in? I don't know. I guess we'll have to look it up.
Pretty much all of them.
Star
You
Trek
can't hide from me.
series.
Oh, hey, Deej.
Episode.
1 second, Bert.
I'm bringing up the episode list to the animated series because beyond the farthest star, while exploring the outermost rim of the galaxy, the Enterprise is pulled into the orbit of a dead star. Trapped there, the crew discovers there's an ancient derelict pod ship trapped with them as well. While pulled into the orbit of a dead star, there's a massive derelict 300 million year old pod ship trapped with them as well. Captain Kirk beams aboard the huge starship with a boarding party. They learn it was once home to an insectoid race. They learn the ship's crew created an isolated chamber that the entity did not control. There were recorded messages. They had their ship self-destruct rather than let it be used by the entity. The entity begins to pierce into the isolated chamber where the Enterprise party is and beams back with them. Infiltrating the workings of the ship, it disables the self-destruct, but Spock is placed in navigation console inside a static shield, so it can't steer the ship. Kirk flies the Enterprise toward the dead star, where it appears to be a suicide run, but it's actually a slingshot maneuver for escaping its massive gravity. The entity believes the ship will crash and be destroyed, so it flees, while the Enterprise successfully escapes and the dead star, both it and the dead star. So, I mean, I wouldn't say they left it screaming.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't know what you're reading that from, but I left in the private chat. That's the ending of the episode right there, and you have to watch it. But yeah, he's pleading and like literally screaming.
Deej says LDG lives in his own universe.
That says the entity thinking Kirk is going to crash the Enterprise into the star, flees for its life while the ship flees for itself from Questar's gravitational pull, leaving the creature to orbit around the star forever, wailing to the crew in a terrible, endless loneliness. I remember when you played it because you did the watch parties, and when it
Yeah.
came to the ending, I'm like, I made a comment. I said, "Is that really the? Are you kidding me? Wow, couldn't believe that was the ending of the first episode."
Well, that's not. See, that's proof it was not a kids. Wasn't a Saturday morning cartoon. That was a serious Trek episode. Not a
I wish
whole
I
lot
could
of.
pull up the scene, but if anyone watches it, yeah, it was quite moving actually. As far as the rest episodes, yeah, not so much.
But you did not see Lower Decks today.
Not today's episode, no.
Mm.
Yet. I'll watch it. I totally forgot. Just been so busy, concentrating on work. And today, kind of caught up behind. Mother ended up buying like 10 pounds of dirt that I had to carry around the house. Got some new plants and whatnot. So by the time I sat down, got some work done, I was like, holy crap, that's right. I think Philip came underground and mentioned that he was going to watch the Lower Decks episode with his brother later. And I was like, oh crap, Lower Decks. And then you went surprisingly live, and because I was about to put it on, and then Yvette said, "Birds live."
Richie Poole says, "Hey, that entity got what it deserved." Deej says, this last week, I have been resting. Been sicker than a dog. Oh, I'm sorry, Deej. Bradley Briggs is no better than what Janeway and Tom Paris did. Left their kids on some random world in the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah, for all we know, that entity has a mother. That's just some kid, and the mother's looking for her poor child entity that Kirk just trapped on a frickin'. You never know. Oi.
Last on the cases, I never knew what the deal was with Koenig. I don't know if he wasn't available or just not interested. No, he was. He wanted to do. He would have loved to do the animated series. What they did manage to do was get him on a writer's credit or something. So he got something from the animated series. At the time, everybody would have been interested. Nobody was like, "Hey, I'm too good for this."
Yeah,
They
no
all
free money,
liked,
please.
yeah, they all liked their money. Dave G Sounds says, Qapla, Dave G. Last on the case says, sorry you've been sick to Deej. Deej says, but if anyone had paid attention to X, they would already know I was sick. Lol. Last on the case says, sorry, Deej, I'm not on X, so I didn't know. And Deej says, Thomas was the only one that did. Lol. I mean, I have X, but I don't really read or care about much that goes on there. I did notice that my ex my ex blue check mark finally
Got removed?
got taken away, yeah, because I stopped paying for it. I
Yeah,
stopped
get
like a
this.
while ago. Hmm?
Thanks to Elon Musk's latest business decision. I don't know if you heard about this or not, but I'm
The
gonna be.
fact that they're only going to show certain launches on Twitter now.
No. But that's
No.
interesting. No, I'm gonna have to spend $100 on top of my blue in order to tweet. $100 a
Why?
month for Twitter.
Why?
Twitter has changed their policies and their open AI. I'm sorry, their open API is now closed and costs money to use. So if you want to use Twitter API, X API, it's 100. It starts at $100 a month, and that's for 3,000 tweets and 10,000 um, uh, requests for other tweets.
You know what? I'm okay with that
They're charging
because
us
they're
to
all
actually
spam.
tweet.
They're charging you to spam, which is
No,
fine.
they're charging other people to spam.
It doesn't
I'm
matter.
not
They're
using it to
charging
spam.
anybody to spam.
That's not correct. You know that
It is
you're not.
because if you were doing a
There's more
legit post,
context.
if you were doing a legit post, you could do it for free. You want to
No, that's
automate
incorrect.
spamming.
You can automate the free stuff too if you really wanted to. The API
I
is the
don't
right way
want
of doing
free
it.
stuff because
But that's
if
your
it's
comment
free
is
stuff, it's not a legit. It's not a legit post.
that
It's
doesn't
a
make
spam.
sense. Not
No, it does make
necessarily.
sense.
No, not
No,
necessarily. I am literally doing it for non-spam reasons.
bullshit.
Yeah, I'll
There's
show you.
never been a tweet in the history of tweets that's been automated that has nothing to do with spam.
Yes, they are. Replies. Replies are not spam. Having an AI to give everybody a
I don't want
personalized
an AI
reply.
reply.
It
It's the
doesn't matter.
AI to give everybody.
You don't want an AI reply, but there
And
are
I'm
millions of
always
people
right.
who do.
No, there isn't.
Because you can tie in helpful information. Like, for instance, if you're going to give people like free deals or something, you just
If
don't
you're going to
program
do it,
AI just to.
if you're going to give a deal, then take it to public or DM, take it off the site, and it's
You
out
can
of
automate
mind.
that as well. You can automate that as well.
Fine.
It depends on, like I said, it all depends on the power and who's wielding the power. So if you're talking about companies who are just trying to milk your information, then yeah, the kind of mind frame you're in right now is absolutely warranted. So I understand why you're saying that. But for me, on the other hand, I'm going to show you how to use it the right way and help people, help other people.
Deed says Thomas was the only one that did. I just checked on Deej on social media. Richie Poole is saying no X and says don't do it, LDG. Deej says spam sandwich. Last on the case is YouTube, Rumble, and Locals are the extent of my social media, if you can call it that. And I'm on YouTube far more than the other two. Richie Poole says LDG is a spammer. Deed says only those that can't come up with original thought uses AI. Last on the case is LDG wants immortality by becoming an AI bot. And Richie Poole says AI will be the end of us all.
Possible.
Bradley Briggs says never use Twitter, never plan on it either. So you all have fun about arguing about worthless websites.
Absolutely correct. Thank you. I love that. Who said that?
Bradley Briggs.
Worthless.
Deed says Yvette
Absolutely
messaged
correct.
me almost daily, though, to check on how he was doing. That's nice. So Bradley Briggs says, never use Twitter, never plan on it either. So you all have fun arguing about that worthless website. And that's
Comment of the day.
that was the comment of the day from LDG. So Did you see the very short tracks?
No, that's what I was telling you. I didn't. What are they? Because I keep hearing about them recently. I didn't even know they existed yet. But I'll
I'll
watch
be
them.
honest.
It'll
I
take like
think
half an hour to knock them out.
my short tracks or what's it? Shorts track creation as opposed to short tracks. But my shorts track, YouTube 60-second short format
Yeah.
is far better than the very short tracks that they've put out. For one,
Yeah, I enjoyed yours. Why'd you stop doing them? Damn it. You can do another one.
I
No, I
just
know.
kind of
They were
ran
funny.
out of, yeah, I got to get to it again. I had gotten so tired and so weak, I literally couldn't even do them. I'm going to get back into doing more of them again.
Yeah,
But
short,
now
simple.
I feel like
I'll
I'm
tell
in
you this.
competition.
I'll tell you this. Your short treks, every single one I had to watch more than once, guaranteed,
Yeah,
and liked it.
I'll win Marvel Price. Oh, Marvel Price says I'll win because I'm in competition with myself. Now I feel like I'm in competition now with Real Trek with their very short track. Like they should have just kept using their original characters. Everyone so far, they make their original characters look like idiots. Deed says you mean short bus tracks. That's a good way of putting it.
That's a Deej answer right there.
Um, uh, Bradley Briggs has never used Twitter. I read that.
You read that?
I read that. Yeah, Deed says you mean short bus tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Ben says, hi, welcome, Dan Ben. Last night case is waiting for the short bus tracks. He's making fun of me. Bradley Briggs says, WTF just happened. I don't know, Bradley, what happened? Deej is also confused. And Bradley Briggs is saying, Bradley, did something happen that we don't realize yet? Is there an earthquake? Did the sun go black? Has a meteor hit your side of the planet? I don't know. Dan Ben's very short tracks are supposed to be like that. They are non-canon, comedic animated short made to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the animated series. I hate they have to tell you that they're supposed to be comedic. Like, if I can't tell that they're comedic, you telling me that they're supposed to be comedic, is it helping? Like, I might have, tell me that they're there to celebrate the animated series for 50 years, and then let me watch, and I decide if it's comedic. And I might say, well, that's, why are we using comedy to celebrate a drama, to celebrate a very passionate, well acted series? I don't know. But clearly, they intended it to be humorous. I don't know how humorous it turned out to be. Stanley says slow tracks. Yeah. Deej says, did Mexico claim to have alien bodies? Yes, they did. Now, it's not technically Star Trek related, but I don't know about Mexico, but somebody who had two so-called alien bodies presented to the Congress of Mexico the other day. That was very, very suspect. It's like the guy from Ancient Aliens was clearly clearly having a good day for himself. It's aliens. It's aliens. Mexico agrees. It's aliens. They claim that these aliens came from Peru and that these bodies are 1,000 years old. And let me tell you, I looked at those bodies, and they looked like aliens to me. Now, yes, they have two eyes. They seem to have a nose. They seem to have a mouth. They have two arms and two legs and fingers and feet. And you wonder, would true aliens have any of this stuff? I mean, we have no idea what life would be like on another planet. To be honest, I'm surprised, given that what we're told, that how life evolves here on Earth. Like, why do all Earth animals seem to have two eyes? And you say, well, insects have thousands of eyes. Yeah, but their eyes are in two sockets. Okay, so they have compound eyes, but there's still two there's a left and a right compound eye, each made of hundreds of eyes. Right? There's no animal on Earth that has four eyes or three eyes. There's two eyes or there's no eyes. Why do all animals have one mouth? There's not one animal on Earth with two mouths. There's not one animal on Earth with four nostrils. They have a nose, and the nose can either be a single or a double, or that's it. Why everybody have two legs, or two legs and four legs, or two legs and two arms, or flippers that where the arms and legs would be. Hey, Deej, welcome.
All right, I got to come up here and correct you on
You got to correct me on what?
your fake news.
My fake news?
That there are animals right here on this planet that have more than two eyes.
What animal has more than two eyes?
Well, number one, I would say four-eyed fish. They do exist. Number two, spiders have more than two eyes. Number three, the iguana has more than two eyes. Even
Wait.
Scallops.
Wait.
Two horse crabs.
Hold on. Let's start. Let's start. Iguana has more than two eyes.
Technically, they do have more than two eyes.
Okay, I don't want this technically bullshit. Because if you're gonna tell me that there's more than two eyes, but there's only two eye sockets or something like that, that's bullshit.
The iguana.
Iguanas have a third eye known as the paretic eye on top of their head. This eye doesn't see images, but it detects.
If the eye doesn't see images, it's not a fucking eye.
It detects.
Okay, doesn't count.
That's
praying.
That's light. It's just not
Hold on. The praying mantis has five eyes. Two large ones in the front of its head and three smaller ones on top.
Praying mantis eyes. Let's see if I can find anything that confirms that. It looks like two eyes to me in the pictures.
Read. You need to read. Spiders
What's so special about praying mantis eyes? Unlike other insects, they have two large forward-facing eyes. The very feature that enables vertebrates to sense depth. Previous research also suggested that mantises use 3D vision called stereoscopsis. What's so special about praying mantis's eyes? Praying mantis eyes. There are approximately 2,400 species of praying mantis in the world. They are found on every continent except Antarctica. They are known for their large eyes. Each eye is composed of about 10,000 individual lenses. The eyes of a praying mantis are among the largest relative to body size in the animal kingdom. The praying mantis can have some of the strangest eyes in the animal kingdom. They are large compound eyes located on either side of their head, and they have 3 small ochelli, simple eyes, on the top of their head. Each eye is composed of 1,000 tiny lenses, which gives them excellent vision. They can see in all directions at once, even in ultraviolet. So they have 2 eyes, and then they have little simple things across their head.
The
They're not
starfish.
eyes.
The starfish has 1 eye on each of its tentacle.
Starfish. I'm going to check the starfish. Starfish.
It showed them the
eyes.
spiders. I mean, spiders have multiple eyes.
How many eyes do a starfish have? If you look at this little funky starfish, there's a chance the well-armed sea creature would look back at you. So it may see a blurry version of you with up to 50 eyes, each attached to the tips of its squishy limbs. They're arm eyes. So they don't have real eyes.
They're still eyes.
Lacking a brain, blood, and even a central nervous system, it might come as a surprise to you that starfish have eyes. Just to further add to their unusual anatomy, their eyes are at the end of their arms. Fine. So you have a starfish that's got one of the very weird things that's not, that doesn't use the
Box jellyfish have 24 eyes.
Okay. Fine, you've got some minor exceptions to prove the rule, but mind you, those are all animals that have no, have no bones.
Anyway, what was your original point?
That there's no animal on Earth that evolved with like 3 or 4 or 6 eyes.
Okay.
So a starfish didn't,
or 3
originate-
legs, or 4 legs and no arm, and
Wait
2
a
arms.
minute. How many legs does a spider have? How many legs does a crab have? How many legs does a horse have?
4.
I think what Bird's saying is like a natural symmetry. So even a spider has the same amount of legs on one side than the other. So not necessarily 2, but there's a symmetry to the universe. That's why you have 2 eyes, one for the left, one for the right.
Stanley calls them slow tracks. Bradley Briggs says, yes, the guy who made the fake stuff made more stuff. Now, as to the Mexico bodies thing, what I meant about that was I could have sworn that Mexico presented alien bodies a decade plus ago, maybe 20 years ago. They claimed that there were alien bodies that they had found in Peru decades ago. Last on the case is if they didn't tell you, and if you weren't able to tell otherwise, they did a bad job of honoring the animated series. I agree. Stanley says, like a laugh track to let something was a joke. That was funny, we swear. Bradley Riggs says, WTF is having with the stream. The audio went and hasn't returned. I can hear it.
We already fixed it. Once you go further, you just had to reload.
Okay. Stanley says, I thought Mexico had leaning bodies. Indeed, it was working for him. 5x5 for last son of K. Yeah, must have been on his end. Reloaded, fixed. Thanks. 5x5. Thank you, LDG. Dan Ben says the person who made the very short track is Casper Kelly, best known for the virtual smash hit Too Many Cooks and his work on Star Trek, Short Tracks, and Adult Swim. Well, never heard of him. Never going to care. Stanley says, how does Bird know what aliens look like? I'm just saying they look alien to me. What are you keeping quiet? Shh.
They look like a cheap knockoff of the Asgard.
Kind of looks a little like E.T.
Well, it depends upon which.
Thank you. That's exactly what I said last night when Deej was in here.
Straight view looks like E.T. If you
E.T.
get a side
Asgard.
view, it looks like Asgard.
Dan Ben says
version of it.
Star Trek said they were comedic. Yeah, don't tell me it's comedic. I'll tell you if it's comedic. Stanley says carnivores have stereo vision for hunting. Last on the case says looks like they made up crap they used to show in the oddities tent in the traveling circus and carnivals. The random menace is spiders have 8 eyes. 2 eyes as a minimum are for depth perception. Stanley says pretend have eyes pointing in 8 different locations for protection. Oh, prey tend to have eyes pointing in different directions for protection. But still 2. And Stanley says lion, 2 eyes in front of the head, horse, 2 eyes on either side of the head. Yes. And Yvette confirms spiders have 8 eyes. Stanley says that's compound vision. Still 2 eyes.
Hey, real quick, that would be so cool if we actually did have 3 eyes. That means we would finally be able to see in 3D.
We already see in 3D.
No. Your depth perception is 2D, not 3D. Your depth perception ability is only in 2 dimensions, left and right.
What?
If you had a 3rd eye, you'd be able to see the 3rd dimension. So
we already see the 3rd dimension.
You're looking through the 3rd dimension in 2 perspectives, left eye and right eye. If you had a 3rd perspective, what you see in the back of your head would be slightly different than what it is now.
It wouldn't show you anything new.
And Bird, you've already shown someone on this stream yourself that has 3 eyes.
I mean, you're looking at a 3D picture. You're not actually looking in 3D. If an object was perfectly in front of you at the perfect angle, you would not be able to see how deep you wouldn't see the 3rd dimension. You wouldn't be able to see the width, the z-axis. You would require a 3rd eye to triangulate, so you would be able to see the third angle.
No, that's not true.
You're only able to see 2 at a time. I mean, it's simple math. I mean, I'm not making this up.
You are, and it's
2
not
dimension is a flat surface, LDG. We see in 3D already.
I'll put it in a chat.
Leave that stupid chat GPT thing alone. It's rotting your brain.
We'll see what the encyclopedia has to say.
Vincent Gallipo confirms Bird of Prey 5 is right, and I'm not exactly sure to which he is, which claim he's addressing, but that's correct for all of them. So, well done, Vincent. Dan Ben says green iguanas have 3 eyes. Is not a normal eye. It does carry some anatomical characteristics. Yeah. All fake eyes. It helps them see images. It can sense movement, alerting iguanas of predators who may be lurking. 47 New York Times says no fair Mexico getting aliens before Canada. Dr. Scott, he says, bird of prey, some creatures have 3 eyes, 2 eyes in their head, and a brown eye down below. Bradley Briggs says, which to learn, really things look up, Project Blue Book, that Mexico stuff is more fake stuff made by the same guy from last time. How did we get here? Asked last night. Okay. Vincent Galapos says distances between solar systems are so huge. How can you travel between them? Obviously, with a technology we are not yet familiar with. Last in the case is Deej is driving bird short bus, I guess. Yvette says lobsters have 10 legs. Deej says not to mention some of us men have a third leg. Sure you do.
All right, here we go. And real quick, enhanced depth perception with 3 eyes, 3 viewpoints instead of 2. The brain might be able to triangulate distances with greater accuracy, leading to enhanced depth perception.
Might.
I would be.
Yeah,
it just says might because it was ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. See,
So
this is why amateurs.
Goodbye.
Don't use ChatGPT. Okay.
Goodbye.
The fact remains. Oh Lord.
Nobody cares. The random menace is mammals. You need to compare the aliens with mammals. Most life forms on Earth do not even have a face. True. Fine. Mammals. First, the animal kingdom. Dan Ben has had no issues with this video. Good to know. Last on the case is there are many things that look alien that are native to Earth, especially in the ocean depths. Captain Infinity says Qapla. Qapla, Captain. Dan Ben says, we are 3D creatures living in a 3D world, but our eyes can show us only 2 dimensions. The depth we all think we can see is merely a trick.
Yes,
our brains
thank you.
See, damn it, Dan Ben.
Thank you.
You bought
thank
into
you, Dan.
the LDG. You bought into the LDG Kool-Aid.
Thank you.
Is merely a trick that our brains have learned, a byproduct of evolution, putting our eyes on the front of our faces.
Thank you.
Captain Infinity says, we, the people,
are powerless.
Gorilla says 1D is left, second D is up, down, left, right. 3D is 2D plus depth.
Scrambled omelets, anyone?
And Captain Infinity says, sorry, just caught the intro. I thought it was a little late for an intro, but I thought maybe you were just feeling patriotic, which I know you're not. You're not American, but that's fine. You could be patriotic. Daniel's Hot Topic says, hey guys, how's it going? It's going good, Daniel. It's going good. We're talking some Trek. Well, except LDG. He's talking nonsense.
You brought up the 3 eyes, and 5 legs, and that's. I'm just making my comment. I would definitely go for a third eye, though.
You want a third eye?
If I could snap my fingers right now and I'd do it right now. I would
all right, where would you put that third eye?
That's
right.
A good
well,
question.
you want to triangulate, so your forehead, make a little extra.
So it'd be like
room.
The
center of the forehead.
It'd be like the guy from Venus that hides it under his chef's cook's cap at the diner when the Martian shows up in the Twilight Zone episode.
Like a triangular pattern somehow. You want to. You don't want to skew. I don't want I don't want him in my ass or my back.
Well,
or
why not in the
something.
back of your head so you can see what's going on behind you while you're going forward?
How about a foot for the back of your head?
What was the movie or show where somebody had an eye in their palm of their hand
Yeah.
and it wasn't their eye and they had to cut it like with a shard of glass or something?
I thought that was a
What
Twilight
that?
Zone episode too.
And it wasn't Twilight Zone. Maybe it was
That
Outer
was
Limits or
important.
something.
Might have been Outer Limits.
That
I
That one
remember the way you're
scared
talking
me.
about.
That really freaked me the hell out.
And hey, Doctor Strange has a third eye on his forehead, so what the hell?
And you look at your hand and holy shit, some other eye
Naruto's
is
got
watching you.
Yeah, getting an up close look
third
at your
eyes.
penis when you go pee. That wouldn't be cool. Uh-oh. we
Put
got
a glove
another
on to pee.
Hi.
Hey Daniel, how you doing?
You know,
Qapla.
Tien had a third eye, one on his forehead. He's one of the Z Fighter's best warriors.
And I thought there were Star Trek characters that had more than two eyes.
I'm sure there are Trek characters with more than two eyes.
I'm
But-
trying to bring it back to the Trek since this is supposed to be Trek talk.
A little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a Trek one too.
Kyle Cullen is here. Qapla Kyle, live long and prosper. Gorilla says, if that scrambled omelet thing starts back up, I'm out. Dan Benz's original watching 3D without glasses could cause damage. I'm not sure they made a 3D that's okay without the glasses. Not Ryan Johnson says LDG talking nonsense.
Excuse me.
That's every day that ends in Y.
Exactly.
And Daniel just said what he just said. Last on the case is it's not a trick. The space between our eyes means we see objects from two slightly different angles, and the brain combines the two, so we see the depth. I agree. Last on the case is people with only one working eye have trouble seeing depth. See, here's the thing. I think I already have trouble seeing depth because when I close one eye, I don't see anything noticeable depth perception loss. Everything looks exactly the same as it did with one eye or both eyes. So I think most people see better depth perception with two eyes than I do for whatever reason. Bradley Briggs says, if I'm going to wish for anything, it will either be Green Lantern ring or my body to be a solar nuclear reactor like Superman. Vincent Gallipo says, but how could a brain manage three eyes? The two eyes are working together. Worry about the brain can worry about that. Don't worry about that yourself. And Dan Van says Zindi insectoids have compound eyes, but still two banks of compound eyes.
Yeah, but when you say banks, that implies more than one per bank, so there's more than one eye.
Uh-oh.
By 5, Qapla.
Uh-oh.
Applaud him.
He's here.
How goes it?
Hey, Tim. Nice shirt.
Oh, yes.
Tim, you were supposed to go, LDG says that's all you do.
Oh, well, that's only in his backstage, not
Yeah, that's only, yeah.
Bird of Prey gets the intro.
Yeah. He gets the red carpet.
Yeah.
You guys can take it for a few minutes because I need to.
We can take it for a few minutes. You go ahead and
get ready. Yeah.
I'll take it as long as you need it there, Bird.
It's in your guys' hands.
All right, you folks, we're here with Trek Talk Thursday, a review of the week of Trek. And Yeah, it's just short bus treks. That was it, and it was all garbage.
You know,
Short bus trek. That is so.
I always
Oh.
like the shot of the Enterprise D going to space dock. It reminds me of the shot from Star Trek 3 where the Enterprise A goes to space dock, and it's the same freaking size as the Enterprise D.
I know.
Yeah.
like I remember when Star Trek 3, man, I thought it was awesome. That new space dock, I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. And the Enterprise just kind of squeaks through that door, you know. And then I'm watching this episode, the Binary episode. I'm like, wait a minute, how's the Enterprise D gonna fit in that thing? The ship's way bigger. And goes right in. I'm like, okay, all right, I don't know.
The space docks magically get bigger.
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, our ships got bigger. We got a space dock renovation project. It's the Mushroom Kingdom renovation project. We got to expand.
No, don't you know the inside of a space dock is like a TARDIS? It's as big as it needs to be.
It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah, but the door's got to be fixed still.
Yeah, but if you look at a TARDIS, on some of them, it looks like a little door on the outside, but when you walk in, there's like two big swinging double doors on the outside. It doesn't make sense. Just like magically you can fit the big D inside a board cube.
Okay, sorry guys, had a client call there. Had to mute for a minute. Good news. All right, what are you guys talking about?
You're
talking about the same size Enterprise?
No, we were talking about how you interrupt us from our talk, telling us about random things that we don't need to know.
Well, you need somebody to keep yourself on your toes.
We didn't need to know that you had a phone call.
Oh well, there you go. Consider it free.
Deej, I had a hangnail 5 minutes ago. I pulled it out. It's good.
There you go. Thank you, Tim.
I didn't have a
I had a Klingon after I went to the bathroom this morning. I had to sit there and keep shaking until it finally fell off.
Yeah, see, there you go.
There we go. There's useless information there.
I had to wipe my ass 3 times this morning, and well,
you know what? I mean, it wouldn't hurt any show to have the useless information minute every now and then.
Just make sure you do it when friends
that
around.
Would be a great idea.
Then he gets all upset.
That's called Star Trek Discovery. It's full of useless information that we didn't need to know.
Look at that. People are used to it already, so they
the pizza cutter.
Exactly.
That's right, Bradley. We're talking about how Big D.
As bad as those shows, and maybe more people will watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Last son wants to know how we got to hang nails and Klingons. That's LDG's fault.
There you go.
yeah, it totally is. It's not my fault.
Not my fault either. Dead air. I'd rather get toenails than dead air.
When will we see a Star Trek movie? God, I hope not.
Yeah, but if Kronos is lurking, he likes dead air.
Did we ever have another scene in Star Trek besides Phlox of actually cutting toenails in the future? I don't think we ever caught Worf doing that. I know we caught him sharpening his teeth, but that's about it.
Well, see, Worf sharpens teeth, Phlox.
He had a gorge once.
I'm trying to think if there was another scene about nails.
Klingon acne.
Was there a Ferengi one? Maybe there was a scene.
Riker mentioned that they never do anything small, do they?
Oh, there was, wasn't there? Yeah, there was.
What is that?
Last scene.
The gorge. What? A gorge. A pimple.
What's his name?
Size of a golf ball.
Brunt was doing Quark's nails. That's right.
I like Rom when he had that ear infection. He's like making this.
Yeah, that was.
He's making a drink, and he goes.
Yeah, wow.
Pours it down his ear.
You know, if you look close enough during that scene, you can see the water going because it obviously wasn't actually going in his ear.
You know,
You can see it going down the other side of him if you look.
Yeah,
close
well, it
enough.
went down his neck and shit too. It went everywhere, but it was funny.
It was funny as hell. Yeah.
And Quark's like, you're getting shit, man. What's wrong with you? Going back and do that.
Exactly.
It's
I like when Bashir would like pull out a freaking tribble out of an ear. Yeah.
Well, it's better the ear than somewhere else.
No.
You know, I'm surprised, especially with Bird's fixation on the ears we know he has, that his he was a Ferengi instead of a Klingon. He acts more like a Ferengi.
I could see I could see Bird wanting to have his lobes massaged.
Yeah. Yeah, it fits. That totally fits. You need to change your avatar, Bird. You're officially a
Yep, you should be a Ferengi now. Get some Lumux.
I mean, he does quote Quark a lot, doesn't he? I mean, he does. The line must be drawn here. I mean, how many times have we heard him say that?
That's not Quark. That's Picard.
No, that's Quark.
That's Picard from First
Quark
Contact.
says it too. Quark says it
When did
too.
Quark say it?
In DS9.
When?
The line must be drawn here, this far and no further. You
When
don't remember that?
Quark say that? I don't
That
remember
was
Quark
during
ever saying that.
Yes, that was during the episode where the line. What was the line? The episode. It was the episode. I think it was the episode where the Grand Priest Master, whatever, I can't think right now.
Grand
got
Nagus?
altered by the. Yeah, the Grand Nagus got altered by the.
You mean when the Nagus was like making like
I had the word
a new democracy out of Ferengi?
Prophets. Yes, and they were making the new book rules of acquisition and everything, and he kept getting worse and worse and worse.
You
And
realize
like, no, the line must be
episode
drawn.
happened after First Contact, right?
Yeah, of course, but he still did it.
Then the line belongs to Picard because then
it belongs to both of them
from Picard. So
you can't take it away from Quark.
You better ask ChatGPT, see what it says.
You can't take that away from Quark.
There's a Star Trek collectible card game card with Picard saying the line, not Quark. Picard.
Oh, I don't know.
And they have a DS9 set too, and it's not even in the DS9 set.
You know what? I don't even know because maybe Quark did say it first. It was DS9.
No.
I'm looking it up.
You go look away. You look away. Go ahead.
He don't know.
You don't know.
He's going to have ChatGPT write him up.
Okay, that was on the Dogs of War. Okay, it was the Dogs of War episode, aired 5/26/1999. Copy. First Contact.
Damn it. You know how we could solve this?
1996.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, I was fucking right.
That's how we solve it.
I don't care.
I would say right before you said, like in First Contact, 1996, I believe, and you said 96. Damn, who's the master of Star Trek?
But it doesn't matter. Quark still said it.
Yeah, it does.
No,
who said it
and
first?
it makes my. I'm not going to argue over this.
Who's on first?
Who?
The guy on
Oh
first.
my lord! Hurt me. Someone please help me. Anyone in the chat? No.
Who?
Originally, Star Trek 4 Calvin timeline would have had time. Is that Calvin and Hobbes? Is the way you spelled it, Calvin?
I hope John isn't in the chat because this will end up on a trivia question for Star Trek.
Thanks for chatting with us, Daniel.
Who said it first?
I'm gonna get Yitzy to do.
I can't believe I called the year.
I'm gonna get Yitzy to do another avatar for Bird as a Ferengi.
Or I guessed it right.
Bird's too busy getting Umox right now. Leave him alone.
On the turlet. Oh no, wait, he can't go on the turlet.
Uh-oh. Not Ryan Johnson does this in the chat. Tennis balls thrown against the wall. Tennis balls thrown against the wall. Bounce, but bounce, 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 bounce.
I know what LDG wants to hear. I don't have OBS up right now. I can't play it.
Damn it. I know what he wants to hear too.
I was trying to get back. I was trying to get back to take LDG's side.
The hell?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Quark definitely said the line. I remember that.
Well, we proved that he said it, but he didn't say it.
Said LDG was right? Is that what
No, he didn't say it first. Of course,
well, that was the point. He didn't say it first. That means it's not his line. He borrowed it.
It's his line. No, he didn't borrow it. The first person
borrowed
borrowed
it.
it.
The only reason they put it in the episode
literally,
because Picard said it.
It was in the episode for comedic relief.
Yes. And they said it because people would know, oh, Picard said that in First Contact. It was Memberberry. That's why Quark said it. It was a Memberberry. They do that a lot. Can't tell me I'm wrong because I'm not.
Especially nowadays in Trek. They do Memberberries a lot.
No, you can take it away from Quark, but I don't have to take it away from Quark. That's fine with me. So,
Quark
propaganda all the way you want.
I'm not saying
doesn't
Quark
matter.
didn't
It's
make
Quark.
it funny.
Quark gets props for it. And,
using your
and Bird
theory,
says it, and Bird fits a Ferengi more than a Klingon,
be
which was
fair,
the original comment.
Quark didn't play it for laughs. Quark was 100% serious when he said it.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as
it was only funny to us in the audience.
The context of the show, it was funny.
But to use LDG logic, since he says that he's all of us, if we all say that we're taking it away from Quark, then it's taken away. You're outvoted.
No, because if we're all the same person, then transporters are in fact not murdering death cloner fires.
But they are.
No, they're not. If we're all the same person.
No, they're murdering death clone things.
Can you be convicted of murdering your clone?
There you go, LDG, just for you.
Well, technically, the technical definition of clone, we're all clones. Like right now, basically.
No, we're not.
We're clones of the original life forms. I mean,
no, we're not, because we're a combination of two life forms.
No,
we are a combination of two life forms that does not fit the definition of a clone. A clone is a single cell taken from one life form and reproduced.
The transporter pretty much makes a Xerox copy, not a clone, a Xerox.
But you can't make a Xerox. A Xerox requires a secondary source for raw material. You're using the same material.
Uses energy.
Uses the same energy.
Source.
It uses the exact same energy. That's like saying if you take a piece of paper apart and put that same piece of paper back together, that's not a clone. That's not a Xerox. That's the same thing.
Yeah, it converts supposedly your matter into energy, transfers that energy, then transfers that same energy back to matter. So by that logic, somehow it's the same matter.
And if transporters work the way they say they did, at any point you could sit there and revert yourself to a younger form because the computer stored what it scanned you at one point, and it could reconstitute you back into the form you were the very first time it scanned you.
I mean, if you think about it, all matter resonates, right? So, I mean, all molecules in the universe are literally resonating. So there is a fraction of moment in time when you don't exist, and then when you do exist, happening all the time. Trillion times a second. No, it's whatever the number is. Right? Matter has a frequency where, in states of matter, there's a fraction of a. Uh-oh, here we go. Here's a vet. Sorry. I'll shut up now.
Martin says, if that's true, how did they make two Rikers? Well, that was
Photocopy.
bad writing.
Yeah, that was bad writing, and I would call that a Xerox copy.
It was
I think the disturbance in the field
somebody
amplified
Riker sat on the imager of the transporter
resonated.
And he hit the button just like somebody would put their butt on a photocopier.
Come on, let's throw it out there. Star Trek has done some pretty stupid things, especially the Next Generation episode where everybody was reverting to a primal form. all the humans would have been reverting to the same thing, not different things all over the damn ship.
Yeah.
Now they would have made it metagenic, and like say, Barkley got bitten by a spider, so he turned into a spider, and or something. I don't know. But yeah, I agree. That was painful. That part of the
Spider-Man.
But it was a good episode though. If you just ignored that one little fact.
And come on, eating the peptide Roy cake. We all know that where people would have been eating first. That was dumb too.
I mean, they didn't fix the problem with Threshold either, because that was just dumb.
Don't get me started on space hippies.
Space hippies.
Yes, Beverly shagging a ghost was awful writing. Kirk hitting on Miri was awful writing and very cringe. Even though technically he was a couple of 100 years old. Technically.
He said he's not really interested in older women. So I have physical therapy in about 10 minutes.
Let's get physical. I want to get physical. You'll play that song for your therapist?
Bert, appreciate it.
If there's
appreciate you having me. Myself.
Is there anything going on? Well, next week start watching for farm life videos.
Oh, and we had a great suggestion. I don't know if you were listening earlier, Bert, to add a random useless information moment to Bed Life. This is your random useless information.
We
random
get that.
Useless information.
Yeah,
just like a random fact, like
when LDG came back, he told us he had a phone call. We don't care.
That was random useless information that we didn't need to know.
Exactly.
I shared that I had to wipe 3 times.
We did.
Deej, what was yours?
I had a Klingon.
Oh yeah, Deej had a Klingon. I also had Pro Jam. That was more useless information.
It's all hashtag blame LTG.
Okay, I'll take it under advisement.
Actually, you could just somebody could include that in a Dear Bop. Just
good job, Vincent.
And
get some Subway.
And a Dear Bop, and then hashtag useless information and tell your useless information.
That sounds fair.
And if you just want to wait 1 extra second there, Bert, If you have to go, shut it down, but just give me 1 extra second.
He doesn't have extra seconds because there's only 60 seconds per minute. There's more than 60 seconds.
Here we go. Save. I'm going to share the screen.
It's like when somebody comes to bum a cigarette off you, they ask you, do you have an extra cigarette? So, no, I got 20 to a pack. That's all I got.
Hey, Bird, your bed has wheels, right?
It does.
Have you ever had the thought in the back of your head that, man, I'd just like to ride this thing down a steep hill just for fun? I can see Bird going, yeah.
No, but I bet he's had the nightmare of Charlie unlocking it and pushing it around the living room.
Not yet, but now thank you for that, dude. Now I will worry about that.
You know it's coming. One of these days he's going to unlock you and he's going to...
Oh, he's come over and played and pressed buttons and managed to get the bed moving and to get me in some very, get me very worried about.
Little Salty's little cartoon of the bed flopping around.
Yeah, it might still...
close to being accurate.
Might still come to pass one day.
We're going to have a bed life where Bird's folded up.
In fact, Mom O'Prey even said one day that she wishes that was true. Like,
Ooh, JP says we can attach like model rockets to your bed, so you get thrust assist going up hills.
Oh,
so you go down one hill, then you come up to the next hill, you hit the thrust, launch you up. Hopefully,
JP's has been watching too much Wile E. Coyote.
All right, I tried morphing. I tried morphing Quark with your avatar to see what AI would come up with, but it's not doing anything flattering.
Could have told you not to waste your time.
Yeah, I was curious to see.
You just need to get a picture of Bird and morph it with Quark.
I mean, it gave me something half interesting, but
I doubt it.
There you go.
It just looks like a dude.
Yeah,
I know. It's his avatar
like
merged with a scene of I know it doesn't get the ears right. I gotta listen. That's my first generation. Okay,
I thought you had your quadriplegic AI that was like.
It takes a second.
You don't even get to take credit for it. It's the AI that's doing the work.
Well, it's 50-50.
No, it's not. It's taking Yitz's.
It's like 99.9.
It's 1% you typing it in, and it's 99% the AI figuring the rest out.
No, you're incorrect and you're wrong. I'm using the image merge. I literally loaded Yitz's avatar, which was 50% human made. So his avatar was merged with a screenshot of Quark, which is also human made.
Wait a minute. Yitz's work is 100% human made because he did it. Unless you're trying to say Yitz's not human.
And so is the picture. So is the picture of Quark.
I don't think LDG is human.
I don't think
AP's.
So that's two photos.
He's green. Yes, JP's. Thank you. Although I believe you were one of the 10 new members yesterday. JP's has renamed Bird's bed the V2.
Wario O'Prey.
It can't be the V2. There was already a V2 made by
the certain German. Yeah. That's why he's saying. That's why he's saying to rename it the V2.
It should be the V3.
That was the day I was playing Space.
Can you imagine
what was it? Not Space Engineers.
Hello, world. It's Wario Prey 5. Qapla. Win.
the one where you build the rockets. Kerbal. I was playing Kerbal, and I just had to pick a name for a random rocket. I just said, "We'll call this the V2." Bad idea.
I tried that freaking game. I could not keep my shit to stay together, man. As soon as the rockets launched, all the parts went different directions. I'm like, what the? I put the connectors on. It's like, what the shit happened?
Last in the case is
gerbils are like screaming, and I felt bad for the little guys.
Charlie usurping Bird via a gruesome offing to seize Karoga is Bird's most frequent nightmare.
But now he will have nightmares of Charlie unlocking his brakes and pushing him around the living room.
Or down a hill.
Trying to ram him out the door. So
You know
I'm going to take Uncle Joe for a walk outside.
Yeah,
Here goes
he's
Bird
gonna
rolling.
be on top of the hill, wondering this is the dream, I guarantee it. He's gonna be on top of a hill, lying in his bed, wondering how the hell he got up there. And all of a sudden, the music plays. Wee, wee, wee. And there's Charlie starting to hit the buttons. Like he's Charlie, don't do it. Don't do it. And then all of a sudden, down the bed goes. He's gonna wake up.
At the bottom of the hill are garbage cans lined up like bowling pins.
Or there's just bowling pins.
Yeah, giant bowling pins.
Giant bowling pins. Are we helping, Bird?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
Oh, well. Any have any last things to say before we go?
You better tell us the dream. We want to hear it after all this.
I will certainly let you guys know if there's a dream.
Bird always tells us his dreams.
That's true.
Anyway, for me, not much. Finally feeling better, and I'm going to be farming full time next week, so I'll be gone for a while.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
You'll just get random updates of rants in a tractor. That's what you'll get.
Those are still fun.
And maybe a skunk getting squished by the boss in the combine.
Just keep those soy flakes coming.
Oh, the last 2 loads of soybeans will be out of the bin tomorrow and on their way. So just to say that, so you know.
Keep the soy flowing. They got to make more soy-induced movies.
And Jack Ben says, greetings and salutation from Vallejo, California. Qapla and Jack Ben. Unfortunately, we're right at the end of the stream. Dan Ben is saying error. I hope all's well, Dan Ben. So Deej, good luck with that. Tim, hope everything's going.
See that coof thing couldn't keep me down.
Okay with Subway.
Oh yeah, things are looking up around here. I'm gonna get a new computer. It's coming on the 23rd.
JP's asked, did you poop yet? He's way behind on that.
Yes.
He pooped days ago.
And I'm continuing to. So that's the good news.
Bird tried juicing and added some herbs that just cleaned him right out. He swallowed a quarter when he was 10, and $50 came out. His colon's clean.
See, people were right. Bird was full of it.
Last on the cases, thank you for the stream, Bird. I always enjoy hanging out here and interacting with all of you. Enjoy having you. Last on the K. I enjoy the interactions as well.
Soy for Bird.
47 Yorktown.
Bird, do you want some soy? 47 Yorktown wants to give you
No. Oh, the wife wanted to know if I pooped. Well, yes. You can tell her I did. So.
Oh,
thank you all.
Real quick, for those for the couple of you that missed the 7 Days to Die streams, probably sometime this weekend I'm going to ramp everything up to end game and just have one final massive battle against all of it.
Sweet.
Well, demons and all. Every 5 minutes on my map. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. It's crazy fun.
That's because you got the damn thing set to days for like 10 minutes per day.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious. The freaking 7th day comes up before I realize it. I'm like walking around like, all right, let's get some. Why is this guy red already? Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Ah! And it's stupid me. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to attract him with a cop car. Wee, wee, wee. Oh, that's a lot.
right,
Vincent
Bird's got to get
Gallipo
out of here.
says Zephyrin Cochran will be born in 9 years. And Bradley Biggs says, oh, dang, he will be.
You know how many people are probably going to name if they know that, they're going to name
Keep an eye out.
There will be a couple of Star Trek freaks that will name a child Zephyr Cochran when.
Now it would be really funny if they named him Zephyr Cock Ring.
God.
Tim.
And on that note,
for the backstage,
we'll end this discussion. You can talk more about Zephyr Cock Ring at the backstage at freethenet.org/underground.
We will be in the underground talking about Zephyr's, yes.
Bye.